Yeah. Once again, it's on back at you one more again. Real Kids TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Before I get into today's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, need to laugh, need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you view or listen to this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true. Keyword being true. Penitentiary story slash life story slash life experience. This is the channel for you. If you're into your 8 to 10, 12, 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all of that being said and wrapped up into one big nutshell, pause. There is a message. Reflecting back as I so often do, and I'm thinking about my childhood friend Jeffrey. Jeffrey was about 6'1", probably weighed about 170, 175, a little bit darker than me, low haircut, low fade or whatever, wore a goatee. Just a real cool dude, man. Wasn't soft, but he was soft spoken. Hey, how you doing, man? They call me Jeffrey, man. Okay, yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah, okay, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's how Jeffrey spoke. Real calm demeanor. Really, since I met him, he never changed. Jeffrey was one of those type of guys to where he did his dirt, he did his thing. He liked to sell the at White Girl, at Coca Leaves, that cocaine, man. Huh? Me and my family come here on a banana boat, man. Yeah, he liked the food with that white girl, but he was always low key with it. He was never out there on the block. He was never a what do you want to call it? You just didn't know that Jeffrey did what he did. Now, if you knew, you knew, but it was very few people that knew, if it makes any sense to you. Jeffrey didn't have a criminal record whatsoever. Even though he did criminal things, criminal action, he never had a criminal record, never got caught up. Jeffrey worked at Toyota. This particular time, he's making, I don't know, $26, $27 an hour. And you have to realize that this was, wow, 15 years ago? So that was great money to be making 15 years ago. It's not bad now. Jeffrey was messing with a young lady, and they were pretty serious. They had been together for maybe 3 or 4 years. And so when the young lady would go to work, Jeffrey would stay home on certain days and watch the kids. Being that Jeffrey worked second shift, there were certain days, like 1 or 2 days out of the week, he was able to stay home and watch the kids. Jeffrey liked to drink a little bit. Now, he wasn't I don't necessarily want to call him an alcoholic, but Jeffrey would get his swerve on, man. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with getting your swerve on every once in a while. Hey, y'all chime in and let me know where you're, you know, tuning in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know. And for all y'all that say, which is not many, come on, motherfucker, hurry up and get to the storyline. Look, man, I'm already in the storyline. You just don't understand. Sit back, watch, relax, and chill. Shout out to all the truck drivers, man, making things really, really happen on these dangerous roadways. Shout out to the Uber drivers, the Door Dashers, the Instacart, um, the medical delivery, the medical supply delivery people. Everybody pulling them 18-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, 4-hour shifts. Watch Real Kins, man. You really help us uh, get through our shifts. The truck drivers say, Real Kins, you really, really help us get our loads off. Pause. Infinite pause. We're gonna skip double, triple, and quadruple. We just gonna go to infinite. You know, the loads off the truck, the supplies that they see y'all's minds in the gutter. But nevertheless, Jeffrey would stay home 1 or 2 days, watch the kids, help her out, just for a few hours. She gets home, he's able to, lay down, get some rest before it's time for him to go into work. She had 3 kids. None of the kids were by Jeffrey. Got 2 boys and a little girl. At the time, the little girl may have been, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. Jeffrey was in the room, he's playing the game. Somehow, some way, there was water boiling on the stove. Jeffrey was about to feed the kids, hot dogs. Kids love hot dogs and chips and, things of that magnitude. The little girl had gone into the kitchen. What do your parents always tell you? Not to blame the little girl. Let's make that clear. But what do your parents always tell you? Do not touch the stove. You touch the stove, guess what? You're gonna get burned. Jeffrey had often done these things. Kids love to eat hot dogs. He's fixing the hot dogs on the stove. Made one crucial mistake. See, when you have kids in the house, you don't fix, if you're cooking on the stove top, you put it on a back burner. You don't put it on the front 2 burners. Jeffrey not thinking, he didn't have kids of his own. I guess Jeffrey's mind was on other things, the games perhaps. He was sipping on his brew, his Bud Ice. He was cooking the hot dogs on the front burner, and the little girl went into the kitchen. And I guess she was trying to check on the hot dogs, and she spilled the pot, and it burned her tremendously. Burned her hands. It got on the water, splashed on her, just her arm area, shoulder area. Very, very sad. Jeffrey's playing the game and he hears all of this screaming, as one could imagine. He runs into the kitchen. He sees what's going on. He's panicking. He calls 911. She's screaming. Imagine 6, 7, 8-year old screaming at the top of her or his lungs because of that hot, scalding water that's just been splashed all over. Not literally, but probably feels like it was all over her, rather. 911 comes. They get her to the hospital. The mother is alerted. She comes to the hospital. The family comes to the hospital. Everybody is, obviously concerned. CPS arrives. CPS arrives on the scene and they're asking exactly what happened. Jeffrey tells the people, I was in the living room. I was playing the game, and she had went into the kitchen. They started to investigate the situation. Once they start to investigate the situation, they realize that you all are not married, and you're leaving your kids home with this individual that you've been with maybe about 3 years to watch your kids, to be responsible for your children, and he doesn't even have children. They come into the home maybe about a month later, 2 or 3 weeks later, take the kids out of the home. She's devastated. The young lady, she is absolutely devastated. The social worker, when she came to remove the kids from the home, she actually fought the social worker. You're not taking my kids. They actually got in a fight. Instead of the social worker prosecuting, she actually did it. But at the same time, it was just a very, very bad situation, a very, very depressing situation for the young lady. She fell into a deep depression. After all, she had her kids. Now, the kids, like I said, the little girl was 6 or 7, and there was 2 boys, and they were stair steps. He was maybe the next, the middle child was maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9, and then the next one was like 10 or 11. So that's how close they were in age. Her entire life, all the years that she spent as far as raising these kids and teaching them to be mannerable and teaching them to be, respectful kids, it seemed as though it had all gone out the window. As I mentioned, CPS was involved. The police became involved, obviously. Police love to charge you with stuff. Prosecution, they love to charge you, even if it was an accident, even if it was something that it was a mistake, even if they love to charge you. They came in and they charged her for being neglectful, for leaving the kids with him. Then they charged him with child endangerment, basically not paying attention to the kids. And as a result of you not paying attention, this little girl got severely burned. Sad. Looking at an individual, mind you, you're looking at an individual that didn't have any criminal record. Worked at Toyota, went to work every day, had been there for some years. At that particular time, 15 years ago, he had probably been there, 6, 7 years. He did his thing on the side. Like I said, he fooled with that white girl. He had probably 4 or 5 people at the job that he dealt with on a small scale. They like to, they come to him, hey, I'm gonna spend 100, a couple times a week. Had a couple people outside of the job, 4 or 5 people. And then the people from the job that knew people, I know somebody where you can get this from. So in addition to making $26, $27 an hour at Toyota, he's making his money on the side. $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 a week profit. He's doing pretty well in life, financially. Not necessarily doing the right things, but he's doing fairly well as far as financially. Situation, man, was just a long drawn out. He had to hire an attorney. He had to get her an attorney, and it was just a long drawn out situation. Then that the courts were involved, it created a wedge between the two. She knew that Jeffrey would never hurt her kids. She knew this. She knew this. But sometimes when you're dealing with the court systems and they get to bringing up this and that, you have a tendency to turn against the individual that you really genuinely have love for, based upon what the court said. As though Jeffrey would really um, allow that little girl to be hurt, any of the kids to be intentionally hurt. How many times are we sitting in the living room or, kids is playing and it's, 3, 4 kids, 2 kids or whatever, and they're playing. Y'all all right? Y'all better not be getting into anything you shouldn't be doing. You good? Kids are mischievous. They sneak in. And again, I'm not blaming her. They sneak in and do things because we did it. That's how I know, because we did. I did it. Do something you're not supposed to do, but guess who's to blame? The parent. Can't watch the kid every second of the day. Created a wedge between their relationship, and the charges against her were ultimately dropped. Now, as Jeffrey is going through this nightmare of a situation, as one would obviously imagine, he's still he's still getting his money. Like I said, he had a few people, 4 or 5 people at the job, 4 or 5 people outside of the job, and on the nights when he was off, he would go frequent the strip clubs. When he went into the strip clubs, it was for one purpose and one purpose only: business. Got strippers in there that like, and I'm not speaking for all strippers, but in this particular situation, he had certain strippers that like to indulge. So he'd often walk out of the strip club making, $500, $600. Jeffrey wasn't a flashy individual. Always saved, stacked his money. He loved to wear Jordans. He loved his jackets, his sweater, his polo. But he wasn't into the expensive jewelry and the big rims on the cars, and he just wasn't, other than and his clothes. Jeffrey pretty much saved his money. So when this situation arose, he was able to get her a lawyer, his girl, even though she wasn't on the best of terms with him at that point, and he was able to get himself a lawyer, paid in full. He's coming home from the strip club one night. Been drinking a little bit. As I mentioned, he liked to drink, but he wasn't like a alcoholic or anything. But he did like to drink. It's the only thing he did. He didn't indulge in his own product, or he didn't even smoke weed. He gets into an accident. He's coming off the ramp. There's a car that's actually the car is coming off the ramp, and Jeffrey is going. He's in the right hand lane. It's kind of like a semi highway. It wasn't a highway, but it's a semi highway. Best that I can explain it. When the car is merging off the ramp, somehow, some way, the individual's car that's merging in Jeffrey's car collides, and the car goes over into the ditch. Boom! Runs him off the road. I'm not gonna say Jeffrey runs him off the road, but when the collision caused the car to run off the road. When he runs off the road, he goes over to a ditch. He don't hit a. It's not like a telephone pole, or it's not a slab of concrete or a wall or anything that nature that he hits. So Jeffrey kind of pulls over to the side. He looks. He didn't really see any real damage. What should I do? I've been drinking. I've been drinking. I've been drinking. We be all night. Oh. I've been drinking. He has that white girl on him. I know that the police need to be called. They will be called. They're probably going to give me, I'm, acting as though I'm Jeffrey. They're going to give me a breathalyzer. It's the last thing that I need, being that I'm already going through this situation in the court system dealing with the little girl. You see, when they charged him for the, what did I say it was called? Not wanton endangerment, but, whatever that they charged him with. I don't even remember exactly what I said, because I didn't know the actual name anyway. It was a felony charge dealing with the little girl. So I'm already dealing with one felony allegation, alleged felony. I got all this stuff on me. I'm gone. Jeffrey leaves the scene. Jeffrey leaves the scene. He's not thinking anything of it. After all, he's looking. The car didn't even appear to be damaged. It didn't even though it was nighttime, he got out, he checked. The car was just kind of over in the ditch. Jeffrey never thought anything of it. Maybe about a month later, people came knocking on Jeffrey's door. Jeffrey opened the door. He didn't think anything of it. He's thinking that it had something to do with the case dealing with the little girl. It's them peoples, man. Detectives. We need to talk to you down at the station. Think about detectives. They'll never tell you why they need to talk to you at the station. They'll just say, we need to talk to you. Okay, well, talk to me now. Now, we want to take you down to the station. We can do it the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. You want to go to jail, you want to go home. He goes down to the station. Has no earthly clue that this has anything remotely to do with the car wreck. That individual that ran off the road ended up passing away. In Jeffrey's mind, there was no possible way. I stopped, I pulled over, I looked. There was no possible way that this individual didn't make it. He didn't even hit anything. Whatever happened in that vehicle when he pulled over, he didn't make it. He was unalive. Instead of Jeffrey just simply saying, I need an attorney, he didn't know. Really, his first time really dealing with the system, he didn't know. See, when they get you in interrogation rooms, they put you in a trick bag. They act like they're your friends. Once they introduce themselves and you want anything to drink or whatever, they'll leave you in a room for a second and they'll watch you on the cameras to see what your demeanor. To see what your demeanor is. Okay, is he looking nervous? Is he looking confident? Is he gonna get on his phone and incriminate himself? And they'll watch you for a second. Jeffrey's in the room, he's talking or whatever. Well, sir, if if you didn't do anything, why didn't you call the police? Why didn't you render aid to this individual? I mean, I didn't even think anything of it. You know, the car wasn't crashed. There was no damage to the car. I didn't think anything of it. They charged Jeffrey with reckless homicide because the individual was unalive. He didn't render aid, reckless homicide, hit and run, and failing to render aid. Back to jail you go. Commonwealth State, no bail bonds. Your bond's 25,000. Guess what? That's what your bond's gonna be. Unless you have a attorney that comes in and convinces the judge to reduce your bond. But until then, if your bond is 25,000, your bond is 25,000. Rock with me. Jeffrey finds himself in jail once again. Think about Jeffrey that's different from most people. He got the 25 G's. He pays the 25,000, gets out. Now he's out on two bonds. Oh yeah, two, because I guess I failed to mention the first time dealing with the little child, the little girl. They arrested him, got out on bond. It's like 5,000. Paid that. This particular situation, 25,000. He pays that. It's $30,000 he got. Not to mention the attorneys. He tells his attorney what happened. Well, guess what? His attorney tells him, okay, well, it don't have anything to do with this case over here with the little girl. You want me to represent you over here? I'm gonna need another 10,000. Jeffrey had that. But being that all of these things was going on and money here, money there, money was starting to run really, really low. Like Jeffrey was far from rich. He had street money, he had work money or what have you, but he was far from rich. Jeffrey gets out on bond, fighting two cases. During the process of him fighting those two cases, Jeffrey's mother was sick, terminally ill. Kidneys had gone bad, both of them. If as long as you have one good kidney, you can make it. Kidneys was going bad. Everybody in the family that was close, they were doing the blood work to see if they had the same blood type or what have you that could donate her a kidney. The people that were willing to. Jeffrey had the same blood type as his brother. Mama, I'll get you a kidney. I lay down for you, mama. You my mother. I'll lay down for you. As you should. Jump in the comment section and let me know if you could and your mother or your father, your child, definitely your child, so I don't even need to ask about that. You had the same blood type and they needed a kidney? Not now, but right now. Where do I go? You want it right now? You ain't even got to put me to sleep, man. You can cut this mug out and give it to my mother. My mother. You can have it right now. It was Jeffrey's attitude. As I mentioned, let me know in the comment section. Wouldn't you do the same? He's going through the whole situation with his mother. Of course, she's on dialysis. He didn't want his mother to pass away. With the first situation, as far as with the little girl, He goes to trial. He don't plead guilty to anything. He goes to trial. I hate it. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry. I would trade places with her and genuinely meant it if I could. But this was an unfortunate, unforeseen accident, mistake, or what have you. Jury finds him guilty anyway. He got a good attorney too. Jury finds him guilty. They recommend probation. They recommend that he gets 5 years. If he messes up his probation, he has to go and do 5 years. The judge adheres to that. He ends up getting probation for that. He doesn't necessarily like it. Now I'm a convicted felon for something that I didn't even, like but nevertheless, that's just what it was. But he still has this other charge pending. Individual had been unalive. Now, reckless homicide in Kentucky and the Commonwealth of Kentucky carries 1 to 5. Basically, what that means is if they feel as though you're responsible for an individual being unalive, at the very, very bottom of the totem pole, at the very, very least, you're going to face 1 to 5. And if it goes to manslaughter, 5 to 10. If it goes to, you got man 1 and you got man 2. If it goes to the second manslaughter, it's 10 to 20. And then obviously the big M word. It's murder. 20 to life. Reckless homicide is the lowest you can get. He's fighting those charges. His attorney tells him, at the last minute. And when I say in the last minute, not blaming it on the attorney, meaning that they were about to go to trial on this case. But you might want to take this plea deal. If you go to trial, they can give you 15, 12, 20 if they want to. But I feel as though being an attorney in the Commonwealth of Kentucky for all of these years, that the prosecution was going to go for anywhere between 10 to 15 years. That would be their recommendation. He ends up taking, I want to say he took 3 years on that charge. After all, it was an accident. It wasn't necessarily even his fault. But the risk of facing essentially 20 to life, technically 20 to life, you offer me 3, I got to take that. You see, the attorney was smart. He felt as though, okay, being that you were out on bond when this happened, but you didn't even have your first conviction at first. I don't want to confuse you all. When I say your first conviction at first, meaning that dealing with the little girl that got burned, he hadn't even been convicted once he caught this second charge. So he was asking the judge to run everything concurrent, which meant you got 5 years over here, probated. On the second charge of the reckless homicide, 3 years. Run it all together for a total of 5 years. Judge wasn't hearing that. He ran it consecutive, ran it wild. Meaning that the 5 years that he had, he ran it on top. The 3 years, rather, that he got, he ran it on top of the 5 years for a total of 8 years. Well, how did they do that? Because the first one got probated, but then this one you give him 3 years. When it all was said and done, he had an 8-year prison sentence. They sent him to prison. He's in the pen. He ain't never been in the county jail more than 1 or 2 days. They got him in prison. They sent him to prison. See, they didn't send him to like the little camps. Like you had camps, and then you have prison. If you go to a camp, there's no fence. So you just walk off. I wouldn't recommend it because they're going to charge you with escape. Even though you're not escaping like on what you see on the movies, Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, that part. You're not really escaping like that. But if you walk off, they look at that as escape. Back in the day, people used to be at them camps and walk off and go to the liquor store and go kick it with their girl for an hour or two because count times were so spread apart. Pause, double pause. So let's just say they do a count at 7:30 in the morning. They may not count again until 3 in the afternoon. So you got all of that time to leave, go do what you do, and then come back. That was back in the day in the 80s, early 90s. It's not happening now. They sent him to a camp. And it was just one of those things to where it was like, whoa. I went from working at Toyota for all of these years. I got a pension. I got 401k. I got IRA. I got the top of the line insurance. I got a money market account. I got mutual funds. And now I'm in prison? Jeffrey's in prison. This whole situation dealing with his mother, she's worsening. Not necessarily worsening, but it just is what it is. Once your kidneys go bad, not to say that, and anybody that may be watching this, I'm not trying to deter but her kidneys weren't, in her particular case, they weren't getting any better. They were already arranging for the transplant to take place. But Jeffrey's dealing with these two cases. He was really hoping the second case would get probated like the first case, and he would be able to remain out and give his mother the kidney. Lawyer brought that up in court. Judge took that into consideration, supposedly. But the judge also had to take into consideration someone lost their life. And had you have gotten out of your vehicle and rendered aid and called 911, that person may still be here. Then again, they may not. We don't know. Wasn't buying the whole probation thing. See, once you enter the Department of Corrections, I was about to say the Kentucky Department of Corrections, but any Department of Corrections, your lawyer, the judge that sentenced you after 10 days have absolutely no say so. You are now in the care, the hands of the Kentucky Department of Corrections. And he has to kick his lawyer even more money. Money's running low. Has to kick his money even more money. His lawyer, rather, I say kick his money even more money. So let's rewind that. My man, you rewind that Hassan Campbell stole from me, clearly. He has to kick his lawyer even more money to file these motions so that he can go through and get this operation. The operation's not going to happen in Kentucky. They send you to UC, University of Cincinnati, hospital. They specialize in like kidneys and things of that nature. They wouldn't grant it for him. The Department of Corrections would not grant it for him. They go to appeals. They're doing everything that they can do to get him out of this scenario, at least so that he can go and give his mother the kidney. They don't care nothing about that. Yeah, it sucks for your mother. That's how they look at it. It sucks for your mother, but you're a criminal. You're a convicted felon. You got 8 years to serve. You got 19 months to do before you even remotely have a chance of going up for parole, getting out. They wouldn't approve a furlough. They wouldn't approve a medical trip, emergency situation. Stuck in jail. Only one that could give his mother a kidney You're in jail, and there's absolutely nothing you're in prison. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I could run off, but if I run off, heck, they gonna know exactly where to look. That ain't gonna do me no good. Just hold on, mama. Please, mama, just hold on. Please, mama, just do whatever you gotta do, mama. Please. I'm not just your mother. Despite the fact that she's disappointed that you're in prison, she's a mother's always gonna love you. She's nothing like a mother's love. Please, mama, please hold on. I'm doing everything that I can do inside of here. I'm everything that I can do. Please hold on. Does the 19 months. It's time for him to go up for parole. Jeffrey is taking any and every class that he can possibly take within, his own control, because you can sign up for 10 classes, but that don't mean they're going to approve you to go to 10 classes. He's gone to trade school. He's gone to counseling, anger management. He's gone to cognitive skill classes. Anything he can do to try to get out there to give his mother his kidney. He goes before the parole board. He spills his heart. He tells the parole board everything that he's learned, everything that he did wrong, everything that he would do different, what I plan to do when I get out. Contrition. I'm at the complete mercy. He's going to church every week, every 2 or 3 times a week. He's in his Bible. He's trying to mentor younger inmates. He's doing everything that he could possibly do. Step out, Mr. Jeffrey. That's how it is when you're in the parole room or what have you. Everybody that you're speaking with, they're on a camera. They're not even up close and personal. Step out of the room, Mr. Jeffrey. Step out of the room. You wait for that. There's the buzzer. It's like a green light. That means come back in the room. He's feeling really, really good, man. I feel like it's because you have other inmates waiting to go into the room. You have correctional officers outside. Man, how you think you did? You think you have a chance, man? I just gave him the truth, man. Jeffrey comes back into the room confident, not cocky, but confident. Based upon everything that dealing with your case and you know the seriousness of the crime. They always say it's the seriousness of the crime. When you hear that, you know you're doomed. We're going to recommend a 15-month deferment, and we're going to tell you to continue to follow the recommendations of the Department of Corrections. Thank you. Ho, 15, you get 15 months? I did everything that you all asked me to do. You give me 15 months? My mother's out there dying, and you're going to give me 15 months? There's a security officer in the room. They're grabbing him. Actually, there's a couple of them. Jeffrey's going crazy. He's flipping tables over, throwing chairs. Man, that's my mother. My mother's gonna die. And y'all gonna give me 15 months? I ain't never been in trouble a day in my life. Oh, he's going ham. He's going crazy. As one is to be expected. Y'all rock with me. They take Jeffrey out of the room, take him to the hole. They end up transferring him like to prison. 15 months. He appeals you can appeal it, but unless you have something to show to where they did something that was unethical or newly discovered evidence, things of that nature, appealing is just a waste of time. Getting your hopes up for nothing. The appeal came back denied. 15 months stands. You kill out an 8-year sentence in Kentucky if you do all the classes and get good time and don't get into any trouble. In the state of Kentucky, you can be home in probably about 4 years and do the rest of your 7, 8 months on parole, reporting to a parole officer once a month for about, I say about 7 months. Please, mama, hold on, mama. I'm coming. I'm doing everything, mama. Now he's at a totally different environment now. Totally different prison. He's in a prison. Lions, tigers, goons, gorillas, birds, hyenas. My goal is to get home to my mother. Jeffrey had about a month left before he came home. He got that call. Mother didn't make it. She was no longer with Jeffrey. The family, the loved ones. She didn't make it. I look at certain situations as when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And I don't want to sound insensitive whatsoever. And I definitely don't want to blame Jeffrey for his mother no longer being here. I met his mother. But at the same time, you have to look at it and say, if you are on the up and up and not doing these things, that you put yourself in prison. I put myself in prison 3 times. I'm a 3-time loser. Nobody put me in prison. I had people snitched on me. I had detectives that overcharged me. I had overzealous prosecution. But at the end of the day, I did wrong. So when you do wrong, you're signing up for all of those things that I just mentioned. I put myself in prison. Nobody put me in prison. Nobody made me go out here and counterfeit and try to come up. Well, I did come up. I came up on a lot of money, fast money. But guess what? Do I have any of that money now? Absolutely not. 300,000, 400,000 that we was coming up on, and do I have any of that money now? No, I don't. Definitely wasn't worth it. Definitely was not worth it. Even if I had the money now, it still wouldn't be worth it. Time. People always talk about time. Can't get that back. You can always make money. Can't get time back. As a prime result in this situation. Jeffrey had a situation where, not going to necessarily say he had it all, but Jeffrey had a situation where, dude, you work at Toyota. You know how hard it is to get on a Toyota back then. 26, 27, $28 an hour. You didn't even have to be doing these things. But you did them because you wanted more. See, that's the thing about success. That's the thing about uh, uh, having things in life. When is enough enough? Even if you're not doing anything illegal, you take a pro athlete, take a movie star. I've been in the NBA 15 years. I'm young. I'm 35 because I came into the league at 20. I've been in the league 15 years. We got millions of dollars. We got 3, 4 houses, 2, 3 houses, all the cars we can want, 4 or 5 kids with my wife. When is enough enough? To where you're gonna come home, okay, baby, that's enough. Come home and all the times, all the proms, all the well, not proms, but all the recitals, all the games, um, everything that you missed being an athlete, you still have an opportunity to catch it at the end as far as your kids growing up. Mama's been home doing all of these things. In the middle of the night when the kids wake up crying because daddy's not there. Waking up crying because they're sick, they don't feel good. Having to explain to the kids why daddy couldn't make it to the daddy daughter dance. Mother has to do that. She sacrificed for 15 years, so guess what? It's time for you to come home and be with your family. You see, it's never going to be enough, is the point that I'm making. When is enough enough? Never, in most situations. Again, I know that when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Your untimely demise. can't really put that first situation on Jeffrey. And again, I'm saying it in the most respectful, sensitive way that I can possibly say it. But the second situation, when you're in a strip club and you slanging that white girl and you already got a career job, you have a career. You don't have a job, you have a career. It's a different. You got a job, you got jobs, you got fly by night jobs, you got career. You have a career. Toyota tells you stick with us for 20 years and enroll into our 401k program that we have. Guarantee after 20 years you'll be a millionaire. You didn't have to do these things, but greed, and I know all about it. I was a big gambler at one point. Know all about it. Know all about being greedy. I'm sure that played in his mind for years. Jeffrey got out. He turned to the bottle, and he turned to the bottle. He was already on the bottle, but he really, really, really turned to the bottle. I think it was the guilt that was eating at him. From time to time, I would see Jeffrey like in the gas stations or something like that, and every time I would see him, he would have two Bud Ices, two, three, four Bud Ices in his hand. Lost all type of weight. He was already not a big dude. What I say, he was 6'1", 170, 175. Last time I seen him, he looked like he was probably 5'11", 140, 150. Yeah, he shrunk in height. He went from 6'1" to being 5'11". Randomly watching the news one night, a few years later. I don't know why this was on the news because it wasn't like a major, shootout with the law or anything of that magnitude. But I seen Jeffrey had passed away, drunk himself to death. Actually, it was social media. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not the news, social media. R.I.P. Jeffrey. He was just drinking and drinking and drinking all the sorrows away. Everything that he could have been. See, that's one of the biggest things in life. Thinking about what you could have been, what you should have been, what could have been, versus what is. So you drink to take away the pain. And you continue to drink to take away the pain. And you continue to drink to take away the pain. All the while, you're destroying the insides, your organs, your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your spleen, your gallbladder, everything that you're destroying that. Your mental. I guess at the end of the day, Jeffrey, you feel as though I don't care what happens to me. My mother's gone. My girl's gone. I love this girl. I love her. She wouldn't deal with him anymore. Wouldn't speak to him. She would speak to him, but it just wasn't gonna go. He couldn't get that old thing back, figuratively speaking. Convicted felon. All my money's gone. My mother's gone. Everything is gone that I ever cared about. So guess what? I'm gonna continue to drink until I'm gone. And guess what? That's what happened. Understand this about life, man. We're all gonna go through that. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. We're all gonna go through things in life. You're born, you're guaranteed to be unalived at some point. Just how it works. You make the best choices that you can possibly make in life, and if you don't make the best of decisions, guess what? You figure out a way to, okay, I did this. I I can't beat myself up for life. I can't change what happened, but I can learn from what happened. It's the reason I do these videos. I want to help everybody. Not just, I want to help the youth, but I want to help any and everybody that will listen. Life gets a little challenging at times. Things are not always going to be, um, glitz and glamour. I don't care if you got money. I don't care if you're a multi-millionaire. What does that mean if you sitting in your 8-bedroom house, 5, 6 bedroom house, 6,000 square foot house, and you in there by yourself? You don't have anybody to share it with. You don't have. You get what I'm saying? Life does get challenging. Like I always say, your higher power. You got to get that relationship with your higher power. Because oftentimes we can't just reverse things and change things, and no. We need help. We think we can do it. Oh no, I'm not drinking no more. I'm not getting high no more. I ain't smoking weed no more. I'm not gambling anymore. I'm not watching porn anymore. I'm not gonna cheat on my wife anymore. I'm not gonna cheat on my husband anymore. Typically, it's I'm not gonna cheat on my wife anymore, because the wives don't really cheat like that. Every once in a while, but typically it's the guys. Hey, I gotta call a spade, man. Don't hate me, fellas. It just is what it is. Things can be reversed. Things can change. But we have to admit that we have a problem. We have to admit, okay, this is not working. No. This is not working. If I want to save what I have, my marriage, my relationship with my kids, my wife, my mother, my father, or whoever, if I want to stay out of prison, I have to accept the fact that this is me. It's me. I have to accept that. And once I'm able to accept that, I'm able to move forward. But as long as you continue to make excuses for yourself, oh no, it's only happened because of this. If I do it differently the next time, then this will happen. Or I tell you what, the only reason I lost on this game is because I no. Have contrition. Take full responsibility and say, you know what, this is me. I did this. As I mentioned, Jeffrey's no longer with us. He's a young man. He was in his 40s, early 40s. And the bottle took him all the way off this earth, out of the spectrum. R.I.P. Jeffrey. The young lady that was dealing with Jeffrey, I speak to her from time to time. She's good. The little girl's good. She's not a little girl anymore. She's a grown adult. Went to college, got a degree. She's not married or anything right now. Never been into any trouble. Doesn't have any kids. Has her own home. Just purchased her own home about 2 years ago. And she's doing very well in life. The other two boys, they're doing well just as well. They both went to initially one went straight to the military, and then the other one, he went to college, he blew out his knee, he was playing sports, and he went to the military. Everybody's doing well. Everybody's doing fine. But they all could have used that as an excuse. They went through the pain, they went through the hurt, they dealt with it. And to this day, they're all doing well. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. See, I'm very passionate about my videos, man. I don't get on here to make money. I don't get on here to just get views. I want people to really understand and learn from my mistakes and other mistakes that other individuals have made. Make sure you all interact with me. Definitely like it, as I've already mentioned. Definitely comment, as I've already mentioned. Definitely subscribe. See, the interaction is what gets your videos out there to the masses. 50 million people should see this video. Small number when it comes to YouTube. Seems like a lot. It is a lot, but when it comes to in the major realm of things with YouTube, small number. 50 million people need to see this video. I need every last person. Every last person. If you really, really rock with real Kens, a lot of people say, man, I'm rocking with you, real Ken. I fool with you, real Kens. If you really, really fool with real Kens, share this video. Share it to your Facebook, share it to your Instagram, share it to your YouTube channel. Share this video if you really rock with me. Because there is a message. Every last person that watches this video, share this video. People need to see it. It's going to help somebody. That's your part. That's doing your part. People send me cash apps. People, they send me super chats, super things, and I appreciate it. I definitely do. But share this video. If you never share the video, share this video. Mental health is real, man. And people need to hear this. And they need to see it. This is a message. Share this video. Real Kens TV, man. Once again, RIP Jeffrey. Prayers go out to the family, the little girl. Like I said, she's doing well. She's a young lady right now. She's doing well. She still has scars on her hands, but guess what? It's not stopping her. And think about if this was your child. Share this video.